Exploring the power of curiosity with today's leaders. Uncloud Your Curiosity with Schellman's Chief Executive Officer, Avani Desai.
Hi, I'm Avani Desai, CEO of Schellman. I'm super excited to have Roopa Sudheendra, Schellman's Chief Product and Technology Officer, who's going to talk about wonder and curiosity in the Agile development process. Hi Roopa, it's great to have you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Pleasure being here.
So, I remember the first time that I met you, it was in this office,
That's
and
exactly
we were
right.
talking about you joining Schellman. And one of the things that I remembered when I was telling you about digital transformation and what we want to do here is you said you love a good challenge and you're curious about a lot of things.
Yeah.
So before we even get started about agile development and coding and all of that, let's talk about you personally. So I know that you love art, you're very curious about worldly things.
Yeah.
So tell me how curiosity and wonder has shaped you as a person.
Wow, that dates back to my childhood days, Avani. Growing up among family full of engineers, all I wanted to do was engineering. That is what was wired in me. But inherently, I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to paint and all that. So when I went to my dad and I said, Dad, I want to be an artist, he was like, awesome, but art is only a hobby and it can't be a profession, right? So that kind of, I took it positively. I think it made a lot of sense, and I started exploring art and, as a side hobby. And a lot of things that I learned as part of art in terms of how do you play with the composition, different colors, bringing different texture in, all that led to beautiful pieces. And that kind of started gelling into my engineering experience and what I wanted to do and all of that. And I started getting very comfortable with uncomfortable situations, just being curious about trying new things, right? I started out as a systems engineer, and then the curiosity led me to become a computer science engineer, and the curiosity led me to do front-end development, back-end development, and the middleware. And that curiosity also kind of started me into the areas of understanding the customer challenges and how can I solve their problems. So from being a hardcore technologist, I kind of transform myself into a more product technology centric leader, if you will, to solve the customer challenges, right? So, and along the way, the technology changes very often. So how do you understand the technology that's there in the market, and how can you use that to solve the business problems that you have, right? Has all led me to build new processes and new methodologies and new ways of building product that has brought huge improvements to the top line and bottom line. So for me, curiosity has developed in how I think and address a problem.
At Schellman, we actually went through a process of changing our values, and one of them is driving innovation through change. And I think that's really important, that we should talk about innovation and how you said curiosity really fuels innovation, right? You ask questions, you ask the customer questions, you ask our people questions, and so forth. So can you tell me a time where you had to be curious about a specific topic to increase innovation?
Absolutely. This goes back to 10 years ago, which had the highest impact, Avani, and the problem that we were trying to solve was trying to find a needle in a haystack. And there are solid traditional solutions already in place to address that exact need. So you get the data, you take the data, massage the data, clean the data, put it into a relational database, and then create reports out of it. Right? So when the volume of the data grows big, it will take quite significant time to produce that report and even to find that insight that you're looking for, the needle in the haystack, right? I came into the organization, and my challenge was, gosh, it takes really long time to deliver the results, right? And the efficiency is in reducing the time. Time to market was a big deal there. So I started asking questions around, why do we have to take the data and clean it this way? And why do we need this technology to do this? That technology was in place 10 years ago, and that was prevalent, so it was there. So do we still need to use it? So all of that questions, asking those questions to the business owners and the users, and even for that matter, the customers, kind of started leading us to a solution which was so simple where we decided we don't need all of that cleaning and processing and all of that. We just took all the stack out, the tech stack out, and we layered a simple grid computing over the data. And we got the results very quickly, right? The report that took weeks together to generate was in a matter of hours. That was a big shift and a change in the mindset, right? And what that did was, not only did it improve that process, it opened up opportunities for the new business ideas, new models to be done, new ways of doing things, whatnot. Right. Yeah. So that's still fresh in my mind. I can't forget that.
Isn't it amazing? Asking questions, getting feedback, crowdsourcing, all of that helps fuel, you and your team innovation and curiosity.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the environment that we're in. So we're a cybersecurity assessment firm. Our clients are in the tech space. We are seeing, especially in the last 3 years, a lot of regulation around data privacy and security.
Absolutely.
How do you balance innovation, which sometimes, is outside of that, very innovative ideas, and security, compliance, and regulation? I don't want to suck innovation out of, because we're building this. So how do you do both?
Awesome. That's a great question, Avani. Even though it is a security space or a regulation space, there's a lot that can happen within that space. And one of the ways that we try to balance the non-functional aspects of a product development with the product development is kind of rationalizing the technologies that we use and methodically introducing the technology into the space and methodically exiting out of the space. So creativity itself happens when you're very curious about the space, right? When you bring creativity into the mix, there's a lot of discussions and brainstorming, and there's a lot of appetite to do net new things. And you gotta have some kind of a structure around that to be able to balance that security aspects and the regulation aspects and the threat aspect that it brings to what we want to do. Right. So in terms of putting together a structure around such creative process, what I do is I do a rationalization exercise with my team. It's called technology rationalization. As part of that, what we do is whenever there is a net new idea that we want to kind of go after, we talk about it and we take it through a process of assessing it and putting it on a trial, and then finally bringing it into the more production mode. During this process, what we do is we look at that idea, we see how the security plays around with it, and what kind of impact it will have on other systems itself. Understanding all of that will bring everybody onto the same pages. Bringing people together as part of this rationalization exercise will help balance the creative process that happens on the one side, and the other side, the whole technical debt that we need to take care, which can grow because of the creative process that we are in.
And that's really important. I mean, going into the future, we're going to see regulations increase and so forth. And that's the one thing I don't want is, the lack of innovation. What we've talked about before is, if we become stagnant, right? And we keep on doing the same things over and over again because we don't want to take the risks, right? We don't want to go outside of our comfort zone. We're going to become obsolete,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So as I wrap up, you came on board and we have a lot of projects to do, right? This entire digital transformation. And, we're excited to have you because the creativity aspect of it, you are very innovative. But how do you balance that with meeting deadlines? And
Absolutely. That is the reason why the product development itself, Avani, is broken into two different phases, right? So there is an aspect which is called continuous exploration. It's all about being nimble and doing the small iterative cycles of exploring, discovering, and designing the new ideas. This is once that cycle is started, then comes your continuous delivery cycle. So this is where the things that needs to be done is known. There's not much of ambiguity in this space, right? So building these two elements of an organization is extremely critical to balance the innovation and balance the delivery and meeting the deadlines and whatnot. The other thing is it's really the time box, right? So when you become very curious and when you're asking whys and whys and whys and whatnot, questioning the status quo, what happens is naturally you get into that cycle. So how do you manage that spiral, if you will, such that you're asking enough questions but still delivering it, right? So being that perfection is the enemy of, right? So that is the gist of it. So basically, how much do we need in order to start building out is what is going to define that.
Yeah, I love that. You know, I feel that curiosity is progress, not perfection, right?
Yeah,
well,
sure.
Thanks so much, Roopa. It was great to have you here.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, Avani.
A special thanks to Roopa. Join us next time as we have Kent Blackwell, director of our pen test practice, who's going to talk about curiosity and the threat landscape.